It's a very good evening and welcome back to another pre-match show. We are again here at the Banksy Stadium as Matt Taylor and his team return to Sky Bet League 2 action as we welcome John Yems and his Crawley Town side. The Saddlers will be looking to return to winning ways, having been unsuccessful in their last 3 games in all competitions. Last time round against Crawley Town here at the Banksy Stadium, it was a solitary goal from now player coach Matt Sadler, who won the game for us on that occasion. We're going to be watching that game back shortly, as well as being joined by my colleague Paul Joannou as we look back to Saturday's FA Cup defeat against Swindon Town, as well as ahead to this evening's game against Crawley. We've also got a brilliant exclusive interview with injured player Robbie Holden. We're going to be talking all about his rehab now that he's back on the grass. But first up, we are going to be taking a look back to that 1-0 win over Crawley Town. So there we have it, that was our 1-0 win last season over Crawley here at the Banksy Stadium. A game which unfortunately you guys weren't able to attend, but there were many of you who watched it on our iFollow service. Next up, we are going to be hearing from Robbie Holden. Like I said, this was an exclusive interview where we caught up with him earlier today to discuss his rehab plans and what it's been like for him whilst he's been in the injury room. Rory, it's no secret that you're now back out on the grass. What does that feel like for you to be back out there after so many months out injured?
Yeah, it feels very good, Tom. Obviously it's been a long time, but I feel as if the worst is over me now, and I feel as if in a few weeks I should be ready to be back in the team and be able to train.
And for yourself, you went and had that surgery. To get that out the way and to know that you were on the road to full recovery, that must again have been a real good feeling for yourself.
Yeah, big time. I think it was more a feeling of relief, obviously, because of last year it happened. It's been nearly a year since the initial incident, but then I come back and played for them 4 games last season, and then I was still getting a lot of pain, and then they actually have to get surgery to find out what was wrong, which was actually a torn meniscus. It was just, as I said, a sense of relief, and now hopefully I can just kick on.
I was going to say, it must have been, a real frustrating period for you, because I think it was just before Christmas last year in the build-up to our game against Salford City on Boxing Day. Like you say, you came back, played those couple of games last season, took part in pre-season training, but then, suffered a setback then. What was that like for you?
Yeah, it's been a tough year. Obviously, coming back and then never being probably right or whatever, and then doing 3 weeks of pre-season training and obviously the injury reoccurring. It's been frustrating, but obviously, as I said, the worst is over me now, so hopefully I can just kick on and then in the next few weeks get back and obviously help the boys and try and get us up the table a bit.
And being back on the grass, what's your rehab programme been like now?
Yeah, it's been good. It's been a lot slower this time, whereas last season I feel as if maybe we rushed back a bit too early because of the position maybe the team was in, and that's probably down to myself because I seen that we maybe needed to get a few wins, and I wanted to get back and try and help the team. But this time it's a lot slower, and we're just taking it day by day, week by week, and then eventually it'll all come good.
And that must be, a thing that obviously plays over in your mind. You've come back, you say you may have rushed it a little bit, but it was all about getting it right this time and making sure everything was, the preparation and the rehab were done correctly to make sure you were good for the second half of the season.
Yeah, big time. I mean, obviously the first half of the season I haven't featured at all, so hopefully I can make as big an impact in the second half and get us into the playoffs where we want to be.
I'm going to say it's all about that. What has Rev the physio said to you to make sure you are doing things right now?
I think it's a lot about trust. I think Rev trusts me and I trust him, and that he believes in me, that I work hard and that I never really slack off or anything. So it's just me getting my head down and every day coming in with the right attitude to get in and get myself back fit.
And I know when players have been injured before, they said a treatment room can be a really lonely place. How have you found that over the last year?
Yeah, it's been tough. Obviously there's times when I'm by myself, and then there's times we have a few injuries in the team, but you just have to overcome that, and I think I'll be a better person for it when I'm eventually back and back to myself.
And what has the head coach Matt Taylor said to you? You suffered the injury under Darryl Clark, then you came back in for a little bit under interim head coach Brian Dutton. What's Matt Taylor now said to you?
Yeah, he's been spot on with me. Obviously it's probably frustrating for him that I haven't been back playing and haven't shown him what I can do maybe and what I can bring to the table, but I mean I speak to the gaffer regularly and he's been spot on with me, as I said, and hopefully now I can repay his faith in me.
Yeah. So that was our exclusive interview with midfielder Robbie Holden. It's great to hear that he will be back with us soon and back joining the squad hopefully for a match day in the new year. I'm now joined by Paul. Paul, as always, thank you very much for joining me. We'll go back to Saturday's game against Swindon Town, a frustrating one that now sees the Saddlers out of both cup competitions.
Yeah, really frustrating. Always really sad to go out the FA Cup because personally I really love the FA Cup. I think it's a great competition. I would have loved to see the Saddlers progress further in it, but it just wasn't to be on the day. A frustrating one. I think lessons to be learned. Swindon were a very good team. They're in the top three of the division. They're unbeaten away from home. So I think the lads will lick their wounds and take their medicine and learn from that game. But a few positives to take, like it's a nice link-up play with Jack Earing and Josh Labadie before Earing put a lovely crossing for the goal. So hopefully the Saddlers can build on that going into a very important game and a very important week.
Yeah, it's all about now putting those last three games behind us. 2 in the cup, 1 in the league, 3 defeats unfortunately there, but coming into a really big and important week for the Saddlers with 2 home league games on the bounce, it's now crucial for us to build that little bit of momentum going into the busy Christmas period.
Yeah, absolutely, Tom. The back-to-back home league games presents a real good opportunity in front of your fans to get some points on the board, and I think that's what the Saddlers need to do. With a win today could potentially take the team into the top half of the table, so there's the carrot dangled in front of the team, so hopefully they take that opportunity this evening against Crawley.
Yeah, and it is it is vitally important. We always talk about momentum in football, everybody does, the managers do, all up and down the country talk about that key thing, and to have these 2 home games now against Crawley and Colchester ahead of 4 games against teams who are above us in the division over the Christmas period, it gives us a really good opportunity this week, doesn't it, to give us that word momentum going into the Christmas period.
That's right, Tom. I think it's a really important week for the team. I think, make no bones about it, I think they'll realise the importance of the week. It's two home games, and like you say, Tom, that Christmas period, you just haven't got time to think or breathe, have you, or dwell on anything that's gone on. So I think if you can go into it with a bit of a good momentum, positive spirit, on a high, and then you can carry that through and you just keep on going and going, because there's barely time to train, let alone think about anything else. So it's pretty much game after game. Then you've got the 26th, the 29th, then the 1st. So these 2 games, Swindon away coming up as well, some opportunities to build some momentum going into the Christmas period.
Yeah, today, this evening, we welcome John Yems and his Crawley town side to the Bankside Stadium. What are you expecting from them?
A really competitive side who are going to battle hard. We've seen a lot of games against Crawley since we've been in League Two, and they've always been very close, haven't they? We've seen 3-2s, 2-1s, a 1-0, a draw as well. So they're always very tight games, very close. I think they'll try and play as well. So I think it'll be an interesting matchup actually between the two teams, and I'm expecting entertainment here under the lights at the Bankside Stadium. And sometimes you can't beat a game under the lights.
Yeah, it is all about that, and they're a team below us, but we've seen across all of the games so far this season, doesn't matter where you are in the league, anybody can beat anybody on a day. So this evening the Saddlers have really got to be at it from the word go, which they have been in some games this season.
That's absolutely right. So I still think you shouldn't be looking at the table and thinking teams below you any sort of give-me's. I think that'd be very naive. Crawley are a good team. I believe they've got quite a few injuries at the moment as well, so maybe perhaps the position in the table can be a bit false. I think people would argue maybe the Saddlers' position's a bit false. There's a couple of games where the Saddlers would have felt they should have taken points, but for late goals or lapses in concentration and things like that. So based on performances, you'd argue maybe the Saddlers could be higher in the table. So it's difficult to just look at face value at the table, especially at this stage. So every game is competitive, every game is difficult. Different teams provide different challenges, and Crawley are no different. It will be a very difficult game, but like you say, Tom, the Saddlers have come out the blocks in plenty of games early in the season at home. It's just about rediscovering that again and getting that home form back. I think it's vitally important. Any successful team in any division, I think, has good home form.
Yeah, it's exactly that, and we talk about the importance of that. Another important thing for us is today is our designated Rainbow Laces game. Paul, everybody across the country in football is supporting this, and it's great to see us as a club also supporting it.
Absolutely, Tom, you're absolutely right. It's very important to support this campaign because football is a game for everyone, and we're a family club here at Walsall, and we really pride ourselves on that, and everyone's in it together. Everyone can feel welcome here, and that's what we're trying to promote. I want everyone to come to the Bankside Stadium, feel included, feel welcome, no matter who they are, no matter what they believe. They can come to the Bankside Stadium, enjoy the football. We're all in it together, and we all want the same thing, and that's the team to do well. And we're all here to support anyone in that. So very, very important that we support the Rainbow Laces. I think it's a fantastic campaign.
Yeah, it is a brilliant campaign, and you'll see our captain Josh Labadie donning the Rainbow Laces armband this evening, and maybe a couple of the players with the Rainbow Laces themselves in their boots. If you are coming to the game this evening, make sure you wrap up because it is a cold, wet one here at the Bankside Stadium. As always, we'd like to say thank you for your support that you've shown us during our pre-match show that we've introduced this season, and as always, come on you Saddlers.